You are under attack right now, this very moment, and you don't even realize it. It's like an invisible fog that enters your lungs, poisoning your mind drop by drop, day after day. Pay attention to what I'm about to tell you in the next few minutes, because it could save your sanity. You know that strange feeling after a conversation with her? That tightness in your chest you can't explain? That mental confusion that makes you question if you're going crazy? It's not your imagination. It's psychological abuse operating in real time. Do you think violence is only physical? Wake up, man. Female psychological abuse is an art refined over generations. It's subtle, like poison in water, invisible like radiation. And you're drinking from that source every day thinking the problem is you. Studies show that 73% of men in toxic relationships don't even know they're being manipulated. Do you know why? Because we were taught that men endure everything, that men don't complain, that men aren't victims. A lie, a pure lie. Have you ever found yourself apologizing for things you didn't do? Have you ever felt guilty for no apparent reason? Have you ever doubted your own memory after an argument? Then you're already in the game, and you're losing. I've spent over a decade helping men escape this mental labyrinth. I've seen strong, confident, successful guys turn into shadows of their former selves, all because they didn't recognize the signs in time, all because they thought love meant enduring anything. I'm about to give you some ultra-rare knowledge, something few men have the courage to discuss openly, something that could literally save your life. There's an internal radar you need to develop. I call it the REAR system. Recognize, understand, act, and recover. It's your shield against invisible manipulation. But before I explain how it works, you need to understand the 5 deadly signs of female psychological abuse. First sign, gaslighting disguised as love. She makes you doubt your own reality. You're sure she said something yesterday, but today she swears she never did. You clearly remember an event, but she convinces you it happened differently. Little by little, you start to question your own sanity. It's like living in a house of distorted mirrors. You no longer know what's real. She plants the doubt and then comforts you, saying she's worried about you, that maybe you need help, that you're too stressed. Remember, your memory isn't failing. Your perception isn't wrong. You are being manipulated into questioning your own mind. It's a studied and documented psychological technique, and it works because you trust her. Does that make sense to you? Second sign, strategic victimhood. Whenever you try to confront her toxic behavior, she magically turns into the victim. You raise a legitimate concern, and suddenly she's crying. You set a boundary, and she accuses you of not loving her. You ask for respect, and she says you're being abusive. It's a macabre dance where you always end up as the villain, no matter what happened, no matter who was wrong. In the end, you're comforting her and asking forgiveness for having feelings. Do you see the pattern? You can never resolve anything. Your problems are never validated. Your needs are never met. Because every conversation turns into being about her feelings, about her suffering, about how you hurt her by trying to defend yourself. It's exhausting, isn't it? Of course it is. That's the goal. Can you feel the difference now? Third sign, covert belittling. She never insults you directly. That would be too obvious. Instead, she uses surgical comments disguised as concern. She talks about your belly in front of friends, but says it's because she cares about your health. She questions your professional abilities, but says it's to motivate you. She compares you to other men, but swears it's just an innocent observation. Each comment is a microdose of poison. Alone, it seems harmless. You even feel ridiculous for being bothered. But together, over time, they corrode your self-esteem like acid. You start to believe you're not good enough, that you need to improve, that you're lucky she's still with you. Your confidence melts away. Your energy vanishes. You become a smaller version of yourself. Pay attention. This isn't love. Love builds. Love strengthens. Love celebrates your victories. It doesn't minimize your successes. Is it starting to become clear? Fourth sign. Systematic blame reversal. She emotionally betrays you, and somehow you end up being blamed for not giving enough attention. She yells at you and then says you provoked her. She breaks promises and accuses you of having unrealistic expectations. It's a powerful psychological trick. The more you try to defend yourself, the guiltier you appear. The more evidence you present, the more she distorts the facts. It's like fighting smoke. You can never grasp anything solid. And the worst part? You start to believe it. You start to think that maybe it really is your fault, that maybe you're too difficult, too demanding, too sensitive. No, you're not. You're being manipulated by someone who masters the art of narrative inversion. Someone who learned early on that the best defense is to make you feel like the aggressor. Can you see the game now? Fifth sign, progressive isolation. She doesn't like your friends. She thinks your family is toxic. She has problems with your hobbies. She questions the time you spend at work. Little by little, subtly, she cuts your ties with the outside world. But never in an obvious way, always with a reasonable justification. Your friend is a bad influence. Your mother is intrusive. Your sport is dangerous. Your job is hurting the relationship. You give in a little here, a little there. After all, relationships are about compromise, right? Wrong. A healthy relationship is about mutual growth, not gradual diminishment. When you realize it, you're alone, without a support network, without an outside perspective, completely dependent on her for emotional validation, exactly where she wants you to be. Scary how that works, right? Now I'm going to tell you something almost no one realizes. These techniques aren't random. They are culturally transmitted behavioral patterns, often unconsciously. The woman doing this might not even fully realize what she's doing. This is how she learned to deal with conflict. This is how she saw other women get what they wanted. But that doesn't diminish the damage. It doesn't diminish your suffering. It doesn't invalidate your need for protection. You have the right to defend yourself, the right to set boundaries, the right to say no, the right to preserve your sanity. Want to know how? This is where the REAR system I mentioned earlier comes in. Recognize is the first step. You need to identify the patterns the moment they happen, not later. Not when you're alone replaying the conversation, at the exact moment. This requires practice and heightened awareness. When she starts distorting reality, stop and recognize it. When she turns into the victim, identify the maneuver. When she belittles you, name the behavior internally. You don't need to confront her yet. Just recognize it. Understand comes next. Why is she doing this? What's the trigger? What's the pattern? Usually it's fear. Fear of abandonment. Fear of not being loved. Fear of losing control. Understanding isn't excusing. It's mapping the enemy territory. Act is where most men fail. You need to act immediately, not later. Set the boundary right then and there. Use short, direct phrases. I won't accept you distorting what I said. I won't continue this conversation if you don't acknowledge my point. I won't apologize for something I didn't do. Be firm, be clear, be consistent. Recover is the continuous process. Every time you give in, you lose ground. Every time you maintain your boundary, you regain power. It's a war of attrition. She will test you. She will push. She will cry. She will threaten. Hold your ground. Does it sound difficult? It is. But you know what's harder? Living the rest of your life as a ghost of yourself. Now I know what you're thinking. But I love her. She's not a bad person. Maybe I'm overreacting. Stop! Now! That's exactly the kind of thinking that keeps you trapped. Love isn't sacrificing your sanity. Love isn't accepting abuse. Love isn't diminishing yourself to fit into someone else's life. If she truly loves you, she'll respect your boundaries. If she truly values you, she'll listen to your concerns. If she truly wants a healthy relationship, she'll work to change these patterns. But what if she doubles down? What if she intensifies the manipulation? What if she accuses you of being influenced by others? Then you have your answer, and you need to act accordingly. Few men have the courage to face this truth. Most prefer to live in denial, prefer to believe things will get better, that she'll change, that love will conquer all. It won't. Never will. Not without action from you. Do you remember the guy you were before her? Full of energy, confident, with dreams and ambitions? He's still in there, buried under layers of manipulation and gaslighting, but he's alive, waiting for you to have the courage to rescue him. Every day that passes without you acting is another day of erosion. Your soul is being sanded down, grain by grain. Your essence is evaporating. And the worst part? You're allowing it. Enough. Today it ends. From now on, you have the tools. You have the knowledge. You have the map of the minefield. To use them or not is your choice. But don't say you weren't warned. Don't say you didn't know. Don't say you didn't have a chance. The fog of manipulation only has power when you can't see it. Now you see it. The fog is dissipating. Clarity is coming. And with it comes the choice. Continue being slowly poisoned or cut off the poison supply. Continue in a game where the rules always change or turn the tables. Continue being the villain in her story or write your own narrative. Remember, you are not alone. Millions of men go through this in silence, thinking they're the only ones, thinking they're weak, thinking they're the problem. They're not. You're not. The problem is real. The damage is real. Your suffering is valid. Your need for protection is legitimate. Your desire to be respected is fair. So, what are you going to do now? Are you going to keep scrolling and forget all this in 5 minutes? Are you going to rationalize and say your case is different? Or are you finally going to wake up and realize you deserve more? The choice is yours. It always has been. But let me tell you one final secret. Something I discovered after years of helping men get out of this hell. When you finally set real boundaries, when you finally refuse to play her game, one of two things happens. Either she changes, truly changes, because she realizes she might lose you and that you're no longer manipulable, or she intensifies her attacks and shows her true colors. In both cases, you win. You either gain a real relationship or you gain your freedom. Win-win. But only if you act. Time is passing. Every second you hesitate is another second of wasted life. Another second of drained energy, another second further from who you truly are. Wake up, man. The fog is dissipating. The truth is emerging, and it is liberating. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to accept this. You don't have to be anyone's emotional punching bag. You deserve respect. You deserve peace. You deserve true love. But none of this will fall from the sky. You need to fight for it. You need to demand it. You need to make it happen. It starts today. It starts now, before it's too late. Before there's nothing left of the man you once were. Before the fog completely swallows you. Like this video now, before you forget. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Not because I need it, but because you need it. You need constant reminders that you're not crazy, that you're not alone, that there's a way out. The fog is dissipating. The manipulation is being exposed. Your liberation is beginning. The question is, will you seize this chance, or will you let the fog swallow you again? The choice is yours. It always has been. It always will be. Choose yourself. Choose your sanity. Choose your life. The rest is just fog dissipating.